Well, I am not a dating coach. I don't give a damn if any of y'all find a man or not. I'm not here to do that. All right. I would rather break y'all up from the man that y'all are with than help y'all find a man. The reason why is because I don't give a damn about y'all finding a man. I care about y'all finding yourselves. So I don't know nothing about these other people. I ain't here to help y'all find nobody. I'm here to help y'all let go of somebody.
Okay. So okay, and so that clears that up, because like you said, you're not a relationship coach. So if you are not in a relationship or not married, it has no bearing on your coaching, because that's not what you coach about.
I get comments on my channel, people saying things like, Naka, you only talk about Black women. You only talk about Black men. Why do you keep talking about marriage? Why do you talk so much about love and relationships? And what people don't realize is that this is my niche, and you are seeing a side of me. That's what you're getting. And not just of me, of every single creator on YouTube, but in this case on Black YouTube. So what I want to do in this video is I want to show you the other side. And so some of the clips that I am using in this video will show you another side of me, but also show you another side of some content creators like Mr. Letgo, who some of you had some reservations about. So a couple months ago, I announced that I was going to be going on Mr. Letgo's channel. And if you're interested to see the comments on that post that I made in the community tab, it was about over 100 comments of, some of you expressing that you did not think that this was a good collaboration. And I wanted to show you in this video, sort of recap what we talked about. And so you can see not only another side of me, but also perhaps another side of Mr. Letgo.
But let me ask you this, because I see there's a lot of women in your, despite this perception that you don't really like Black women, again, that came from my community. You have a lot of women followers. I'm seeing so many comments from women in this comment section. So you hold women accountable. I see you as somebody who holds Black women accountable. Why do your Black women followers, why do they keep tuning in to you?
So that's I'm glad you asked that, because there's two groups of women. There's women who actually want to grow and want to change, and women who don't. Okay. So imagine a bunch of crabs in a barrel, right? We all know the crab in a barrel mentality, right? I don't have to explain that. So imagine all these crabs in a barrel, and they pulling all the crabs down. Ain't nobody getting out, right? Say I'm one of the crabs and I get out of the barrel, right? And since I'm walking around like, yo, this is beautiful, I'm free, and I start telling the other crabs like, yo, this is how you get out of the barrel. Right?
Okay.
And crabs start jumping out of the barrel. At some point, the crabs that were pulling the crabs down are going to be alone in the barrel. See, there's something that women don't understand about themselves. It's something called assimilation. Black women are like robots, like on iRobot, right? Remember iRobot?
I do, but I want to know more about how Black women are like robots.
Okay. They have this need to assimilate. Okay.
During the past several months, I had the opportunity to be a guest, not only on Mr. Letgo's channel, but also on the Lapeef Network's channel, as well as Dr. Thunder's channel. And unfortunately, I do not have a clip from Dr. Thunder's channel, but I will make reference to some of what we talked about in this video. When I was on Dr. Thunder's channel, he said something that was so powerful and impactful, and it really stayed with me. And what he said was, as a Black man himself, as a content creator, but I think he was speaking in general as a Black man, he talked about how Black men hold Black women accountable, and they do that because of love. I think the misconception when we see people like Dr. Thunder or Mr. Letgo, these various internet, personalities, even Kevin Samuels, we assume that they hate Black women because they are delivering a message that may be either critiquing Black women for certain things, or, essentially they're holding Black women accountable through their content. A lot of people will interpret this as hate. But Dr. Thunder, and I don't want to misquote him, but he said something to the effect of, this is actually love. And I agree. And I would say the same for me. I have been making content since the summer of 2022. And I have received a lot of comments on my channel, many of which from Black women, and not all positive comments. In fact, some Black women being somewhat upset with me and my content because I deal with feminism and I deal with a lot of concepts and things that many Black women do not want to talk about. And so even me, I can't say that anyone has said I hate Black women, but I think the perception, as I share with you all in the community tab, that it has been said that I'm too male identified. And again, what people miss is the love, is that to make content consistently about a particular population like Black women, that speaks to, and not in every case, but in a lot of cases, the passion that you must have to hold not only yourself accountable, other Black women, Black men, and the community at large. And this is what I see in Black YouTube. Now, I do think a lot of content creators in Black YouTube are misunderstood. Oftentimes you may see a clip, something that goes viral, and you don't have the full context, and so you make assumptions about who the person is based off of a 1-minute YouTube short or something like that. But I wanted to give the opportunity. I'm showing clips of Mr. Letgo right now, but just know that this idea, what I'm doing here, it applies to really a lot of Black creators and creators at large, even beyond Black, but which is seeing the other side.
Women, unlike yourself, try to look like other women, try to dress like other women, try to do things to their bodies like other women in order to look like other women.
Right.
So they have this need to assimilate. It's like a herd of buffalo, herd of zebra. The more zebra it is, the less they will get hurt, right? Because that's why they move in herds. So women feel safe in numbers. So if all these women look the same, like for example, if all women were single mothers, right? If all women were wig wearers, if all women did this, did that, we men would have no choice but to be with all of y'all, because all of y'all are the same. So if all these women, because you don't wear wigs, right? Have you ever, or how often have you had wig wearers say something negative about you wearing your own hair?
I've had that, or just yeah. I guess they're wig wearers.
So those are the crabs in the barrel. So the dysfunctional women look to keep other women dysfunctional, so you can't say we're dysfunctional because the grading curve isn't there. Crab in the barrel thing. So next thing you know, when they see a man like me, and this is my answer to your question, when they see a man like me that is getting women out of the barrel, that is actually helping women grow, the dysfunctional women are like, he hates women. Because I talk about single motherhood. Single motherhood is dysfunctional. How can you say a man hates women when I say single motherhood is dysfunctional? Because they are single mothers. They don't see themselves as dysfunctional because,
for me in particular, again, I have a lot of videos about feminism. I have a lot of videos about that critique the Black community, that critique Black women. I share pretty openly about the contradictions within our culture, the contradictions within feminism, right? So one could assume that I hate women or something like that, or I hate Black women. But the reality is that I am a woman. And the reality is I'm impacted by feminism. And I also have emotions. And I also have another side. And so that is the thing I appreciated about being on these different panels, is I had the opportunity to really expose that other side. A lot of people don't want to expose that other side. And that is one of the problems on the internet, is that everybody wants to show, and it's understandable because of what I shared before, which is having a niche. But the reality is, no matter what your niche is, no one is talking about love and relationships all day, or Black women all day, or BBLs all day. No one is doing that. And so I love the fact that particularly on the Lapeef channel, I was able to show the feminine, emotional side of me a little bit, because I am a woman and I also deal with many of the things that the average woman deals with.
But, you know, just in terms of should one always speak to their man like a king? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, you know, this is one of the most challenging things for me, is to speak to a man like a king when I, at that very moment, feel like I don't want to, but based on whatever circumstances are going on, but to still have the ability to do it. And that is one of the things I had to learn, is how to control my own emotions.
Can I ask why?
I'm sorry?
I just want to ask why you said I'm not going to want to speak to him like a king. Why? Like,
well, in that situation, I was speaking to, like, say if there's some turmoil between us. So say we're angry at each other, we're arguing at each other. In that moment, if we're in a big argument, this is one thing I had to work on. I would be, you know, my masculine would rise up. And what I'm learning is that got me nowhere. So to whatever I said, I was speaking specifically to, if there's turmoil, I'm in that moment, I may not want to, but my biggest challenge is, even when I don't want to speak to him that way, still finding it within me to learn how to do that, because I noticed that I've gotten a lot more accomplished when I'm able to always speak to him like a king. But I'm not gonna go ahead.
Just another caveat to that. Almost repetitive, but I'm not going to ask you the same question again. But why would you want to? Like, and this is for the women. What makes you want to speak to a man out of term if he isn't leading correctly, or for whatever he did this? What makes you? What is the impulse that makes you want to say something out of line? What is that inside of you that makes you the impulse? What is that?
Real quick. I'm just gonna go ahead. Okay, just to answer you. For me, it is my emotions, and I've had to learn to control my emotions. That is it. That's what it is for me. It is the emotional, whatever is the feminine energy. I don't know what. But as a woman, I've had to learn how to control, because as they say, we all have, you know, even though I'm a woman and I'm feminine, I still have, they say it's a spectrum, right? So there's, you know, you can kind of, I'm not going to get into all that stuff. But bottom line is, you know, you can exhibit a little masculine energy, even though you're feminine. So I've had to dial back that masculine energy, particularly as a modern woman, as a woman who, you know, is out here in the world and figuring out how to navigate it. And you go home and you have to learn how to shut that off. Sometimes I have not been able to do that.
So do you talk to people, as your example, when you're out versus in, you talk to people out of line when you're out the house, or just a question? Because I don't really understand it. If the person like that.
If I feel disrespected by somebody out of the house, then yes, I would talk to them like that as well.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay. All right. I was just wondering, because my whole thing
why is it crazy? I don't understand. Why is it crazy?
Why would you speak to anybody out of line ever, just period, as a woman? Like, you're gonna get slapped in the mouth outside versus in, like,
I'm only speaking to in situations where I feel disrespected. I am going to stand up for myself. You know, I'm not going to let anybody.
So is it standing up for yourself, or is it an impulse to speak out of line? Because there's a difference. So if somebody grabs you, you have the right to say, "Get off me." But if nobody's touching you, and somebody says, "Look, you little nappy-head bitch," or whatever, you'll have an impulse to go love and hip hop on her.
Well, I don't go love and hip hop, but there will be some words exchanged. But
Why?
is that not human nature?
No, it's not.
I feel like Mr. Lego, you kind of gaslight.
Hold on, that's Paris getting there. Go ahead.
I feel like you kind of gaslight a little bit because the way that I'm gonna explain it, right?
So some of my final thoughts is who's in the manosphere, who's not in the manosphere. You know, I did ask Mr. Letgo. He said he's not in the manosphere. He also said he does not make red pill content. So I think that's another thing, is that a lot of times we will put a creator in a box and say, oh, well, you're making this type of content or you're using these type of talking points, when in fact, that may not be the case. I mean, I think with creators, a lot of times you are synthesizing a lot of different things. Like for me, I'm constantly synthesizing my academic background with my lived experience as a Black woman, with, you know, my societal observations. You know, I do believe that art imitates life. So there's that component. So my content comes from a lot of different places. Some people get their content from Chat GPT, and that's okay. You get it from Chat GPT, and that is, you know, where they get their content. So for me, there's not really manosphere red pill talking points per se, you know, and I also don't consider myself making manosphere red pill content, but I can see that there are some similarities there. So I did like that Mr. Letgo clarified that,
because most of these dudes don't want to deal with no single mother with a kid. I mainly date single mothers because I understand the importance of community, fatherless kids, and I just love being a daddy because my kids are grown.
You are probably one of the only Black men in the manosphere. I don't know if you consider yourself in the manosphere.
I'm not in the manosphere.
Oh, you're not in the manosphere. Okay. Why aren't you in the why are you not in the manosphere?
I think I think the manosphere itself is toxic and it's cornballish. It's cool. I don't have a problem with it, but I don't see. The thing about it is I'm an emperor. So I have my own environment. I establish my own environment. I'm not a part of a thing that somebody else is doing.
Is your content considered red pill content?
My content is considered my content.
Okay. I appreciate that. I like that. But I was going to say, going back to what you just said, I've heard you say that before about single moms. And I'm like, I've never heard a Black man on the internet in 2023 say that he dates single. Like, that's like one of the most taboo things you could say to get people like, what, you know?
There's a whole bunch of losers that use words. It's a lot of cornballs that haven't had any children, don't have children, don't trust women, don't understand women, that see women as the enemy. How do I see women?
I would say not as the enemy. I mean, after talking with you, I think that you see women as, even though you make the statement about the child thing, but I think it's as your equal, but to the point where you're not going to engage in anything that's toxic. You're going to kind of be the bigger person in the situation. You de-escalate things, which I think ideally that's what women want, right? Like most women want that. Unless you're toxic yourself, then you of course want the guy to up the ante.
Be toxic with you, right? So that's what I'm saying. I am like a cross to vampires when it comes to dysfunctional women. They're like, I get in front of them and they have a visceral reaction to me. They go crazy because they're like a vampire and I'm like the cross to the vampire, like So yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, we'll do this again. You were really dope. You asked some really dope questions.
Thank you. And shout out to my community because they did give me some questions to ask you as well. So
okay, that's what's up. And we'll do another part because I love this conversation. I love your question asking, like, what do you think about that? That's really dope. That made
I thought we were going to get in a big argument. So this went better than I expected.
I don't argue.
True. Yeah. I wasn't triggered.
Right.
You didn't trigger me.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things about Black YouTube is that not every Black creator is part of Black YouTube. It depends, or it seems to depend on the type of content you make. And it also seems to depend on the audience you have. So I wanted to make this video to show you all the other side of Black YouTube. So yeah, since the summer of 2022, I have been making things visible about modern women, about modern Black women specifically, and I will continue to do that. If you want to see another side of me more consistently, please do join my YouTube membership group, $10 a month. You can click the link in the description box to join, or you can hit the join button if you see that at the top of your screen. What else? Also, my newsletter went out, so please do look in your spam box. You can get more information about my upcoming Saturday webinar, which is called Get Started and Grow on YouTube. I also put in the community tab, I mentioned, or I put out a request. If you all know of a makeup artist and or a videographer for a wedding, if you could, please drop that information in the comment section or go to my website and fill out the contact form where you can give me the information of the people that you know who can help me with with this request. I would highly appreciate it. If you feel compelled, please do donate to my channel via Cash App. If you're wondering where this beautiful necklace came from, or that I'm wearing, actually, I believe it's a Kenyan necklace, and I bought it at a Ghanaian store. But this is my Afrocentric holiday look. So, with that being said, happy holidays to all of you. I hope you enjoy the time with your family. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Click the links in the description box. Get to know what I do with my business, Curated Legacy LLC. And as always, stay tuned for more videos. Bye. My book is back on Amazon. You can order an ebook version or a physical copy. Order for yourself or for a loved one. Click the link in the description box to purchase my book, My Own Gaze, Memoir of an Invisible Black Woman.